What's up, y'all? It's Will here at Schedulefly. We had a blog until a couple of years ago, and we took it down. And I'll touch on that in a different episode, why we took it down. But I've been looking through some old posts recently, and the post that I wrote, Wes and I used to write on this thing, but the post that I wrote that I got my favorite response from, I wrote in June of 2017, and I'll read it, and then I'll tell you what the response was and why I enjoyed it so much. But here it is. The title of the blog post is "We Run a Basic Business. Some might call it boring." And here we go. Quote, "When you read about startups and fast growth software businesses, you always read about cool, young, hip groups of people with open space offices that have exposed HVAC ducts and ping pong tables and bocce ball and on-site yoga instructors and tattoo artists and in-house cafes with organic, pasture-raised, free-range, free lunches and programmers with red beards and red parrots on their shoulders and bean bags and whiteboards all over the place because the brilliant ideas are flowing so fast and freely that you can barely contain them, and a CEO who meditates on his or her stand-up desk and whose blog posts are featured in TechCrunch and Medium, and there are no walls or cubes, but rather a highly collaborative environment where all these amazing people plan to change the world." And then there's Schedulefly. 5 dudes in their 40s who live in different cities, don't have meetings. Well, we had one 4 years ago over lunch for a couple of hours. That's the only time we've ever been together as a team. Or conference calls. We've literally never had one. And we each just do our own thing every day, knowing that we all have 100% trust in each other to do what needs to be done. And we communicate with each other individually as needed. And what needs to be done is getting the basics right every single time. The software should be easy to use and always work and solve the common problem of restaurant staff scheduling and communication being a pain. The website should be fast. People who email us should get a quick, helpful response. People who call should get a live person or a very quick return call and have a real, authentic conversation with somebody who genuinely cares about them and wants to help and who will happily spend as much time as needed with them to do that. Free trials should be set up quickly, bills paid on time. And we should spend time and money highlighting some of the many, many, many thousands of talented, inspiring people we are so fortunate to serve with our books, podcasts, and video series. That's really all there is to it. Honestly, I think a lot of people will get bored with this business because we truly aren't trying to change the world, and we don't have or do all of those things that inspire Inc. magazine cover articles. We're just keeping our heads down, our blinders on, and staying focused on the basics while having balance in our lives so that we can keep doing this forever without getting burned out. It might be boring, but we couldn't imagine doing it any other way. End quote. So, we didn't often get respond. I guess you could respond somehow on the blog and then we would get an email. I don't even remember what the mechanism was, or maybe the blog went out as an email. That's what it was. And then you could reply and we would get those. And the one I got read, yes, 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 with a bunch of exclamation points. And then FUCK, yes, with an exclamation point. Now, that came from a guy I know. That guy at the same time was in the middle of building a very fast growth, high pressure business. Tons and tons of people, tons of hours working, in the middle of getting ready to sell the business to private equity. But, it was really ironic to me. I was actually surprised that he responded that way. But I think it gets to, it's something I've learned more and more, and I think maybe people even appreciate it more over the last year with all that's happened with COVID and all the time we've had to spend out of our business or outside of our business and with our family and not being able to do and maybe reflecting on what's important. This was written 4 years ago, literally June of 2017. Nothing's changed. I mean, we still view this business the same way. people listen to that now. I've sent this to some friends recently, and it used to be, a lot of them would say, "Oh yeah, well, we couldn't do that in our business," but a lot more people are actually doing that now, or finding ways to do that, or want to do that. And it really gets to the point of nailing the basics, right? I mean, that's so hard to do, and do it right consistently for a long period of time, because nailing the basics can get boring, and we're often victims. All of us are often victims of Nassim Taleb, a favorite author of mine. He calls it new mania, and we always need the new. Schedulefly is a testament to, while there is a need for that approach, and there are people that are always looking for that approach, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do it in many types of businesses. You don't have to do it in software. I mean, here we are, 14 years in, still growing. Growing meaning that even though we lost customers last year and have fewer than we did going into this, we're growing again, right? Like that plateaued or stopped, and now we're growing. And we have, over 6,200, 6,300 customers, and they just want the basics. They just want us to get the basics right. All those things I mentioned, that's all they care about. That's all they want. There are probably not many other providers that are focused like that, and we hear that in their voices and read that in their emails when they communicate with us about why they like Schedulefly. So, I've always said I feel like I just struggle with the idea of whether I could be successful at running a restaurant. Certainly would only be able to do it with these four other guys if I ever even tried. But I guarantee you, if we ran a restaurant, we'd do it the same way we do this, which is just, okay, you do this, you do that, you do that, you do that, I'll do this. We trust each other. Communicate if needed, but basically let's just get these basics and just nail them every day. And would it limit our upside? Sure. I mean, if we had gone out and raised a bunch of money, hired a bunch of people, been through all the stress, blah, blah, and then you sell for hundreds of millions of dollars one day, whatever, you're on Inc. Mag, all that stuff, all the stuff in the first part of that blog post. But the upside for us is that we, like I said, we can do this forever. This is extraordinarily sustainable. And if you take pleasure in those moments, I mean, to this day, every single time we get a new free trial, I smile, and Wes smiles, and all the other guys do. It means something. As many as come in every day, everyone makes me smile. Every phone call, which is very few, but every time I get to talk to a customer, makes me happy. Makes me feel good about, taking care of whatever that is that they need and thanking them for their business. Every day our website is working and running smooth and running fast, which is literally all the time now. Always 24/7, 365. I mean, it's amazing. Makes us happy. So you have to be satisfied with those things and take pleasure in the little things and take pleasure in just getting things right every time. And if you can get that mentality, it's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing to be able to have that kind of balance, to know that you can spend time with your wife and your kids, and your family and your friends. And anyway, we run a basic business. Some might call it boring, but we love it. Thanks for listening, and more coming soon. See you.